Cameron, I'd love to get your thoughts on that last question that I was asking Maral and other guests, and that's as the head of the National Union for Democracy in Iran, what is the threat now to the regime, and is Israel's goal with this to topple the regime? I'd love to get your thoughts on that question, but also on the attack in general.
Sure. Very good to be with you, Mario, and with your the other panelists. This has been a strategic, but also a psychological defeat for Ali Khamenei, who has been the dictator of Iran for more than 30 years. He's never faced something like this. So let's talk first strategically and operationally, and then psychologically and mentally, I think, for the dictator. So first of all, the fact that in one day, in what they thought was the comfort of their own homes, the head of the IRGC, Hossein Salami, the head of the regime's armed forces, Bagheri, the head of the IRGC Air Force, Hajizadeh, a critical personal advisor and political advisor to the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, were all eliminated. That's a significant move to decapitate the Islamic Republic's strategic and operational capacity. I mean, if this had simply been a strike on the nuclear facilities or other facilities and individuals were not specifically targeted, these four men, plus the others who were eliminated, would have been four of the key players in the room, advising, directing the regime's response, personally advising and directing the supreme leader as to what should be done. So just simply operationally, I mean, you have four of the really heavy hitters who would normally be in any of those rooms, any of the secret hidden bunkers that the supreme leader flees to go to when he leaves his people without air warnings or sirens to tell them when potential strikes are incoming. He's in comfort and safety along with these four. Those four individuals are no longer there, along with many of their deputies and obviously many of the so-called scientists who are trying to build nuclear bombs for the Islamic Republic. So operationally, it's a significant defeat. But speaking of those four people, that's an even greater psychological defeat. The way that you rise through the ranks of the armed forces in Iran under the Islamic Republic is not really similar to how one rises through the ranks of the armed forces in any country in the world. I mean, even in dictatorships or totalitarian states or authoritarian states, let's say China, let's say Russia under Putin or any other country. What you rise based on is not your strategic depth or your capacity for military strategy necessarily. What you rise based on is your loyalty to the Islamic Republic and your loyalty to Ali Khamenei himself. And the fact that four of these men who were close personal confidants of the supreme leader were in the comfort of their lavish luxury apartments across Tehran, were eliminated simultaneously. That's a huge, not only psychological defeat for the supreme leader, but it's a humiliation. The fact that he has spent so much time saying that he's defending his regime and defending the country, he's unable to defend even his four closest people. And they were killed as they slept in their beds in luxury apartments in the best parts of Tehran in money that they've stolen from the people of Iran. So that is a huge psychological defeat. The supreme leader feels at this moment, I would imagine, not only very scared, very afraid, but humiliated. How is this possible? And as it was pointed out previously, where is the supreme leader? Where is indeed Mr. Pezeshkian? Both of them are still hiding because they're worried that they'll be next. So not only is this operationally devastating for the Islamic Republic, psychologically and mentally, it is a huge blow to the infrastructure.
But Cameron, do you think the opposition has enough? Mara was talking earlier. There is no real leader of the opposition. We talk about the prince earlier. He can't even get enough people on the streets when he tries. Do you agree with that position that Maral has? And if so, is there enough for a regime change in Iran?
I don't agree, but I think that the time to settle those disputes or differences as to who will be the future leader is not now. That will be the ballot box that the Iranian people should have the right to go to decide their future leaders. We shouldn't be disputing that now. And I don't think that it's the case, specifically when it comes to Prince Reza Pahlavi. He calls people and they don't come. He's not calling people to come and chant his own name. If and when people do that, they do it spontaneously, as we saw them do it over the Nowruz holiday. But that's not our issue here. I think that the opposition to the people of Iran, to the Islamic Republic, are first and foremost the people of Iran. The vast majority of people in the country who are opposed to this clerical regime, they may have some ideological differences. Some may prefer monarchy, some may prefer republic, some may be left-leaning, right-leaning. But when it comes to being opposed to Ali Khamenei, when it comes to their murderers and oppressors like Hossein Salami, who frankly is an embarrassment to represent Iran, who used to have one of the most impressive militaries in the world, with generals and commanders and admirals who looked as if they should be running the entire world's armed forces. You have people like Salami. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to an amazing and beautiful country like Iran. And so all Iranians can agree that the country and that the world is better off with people like Hossein Salami not being there, with people like Ali Khamenei, who did nothing but steal and plunder the Iranian people's wealth, not being there. So I think the time for those disputes will be down the road. I think what this presents is an opportunity, and I think we'll see that in the coming days, weeks, and months for Iranians to have a more even playing field against this regime. The Islamic Republic has been weakened, and opportunities will arise for Iranians to take advantage of that.
So we're going to go to, Amir, I'm going to go to you first, but then we're going to have a military discussion, as I said earlier, between Stefano, Yoel, and Vladimir. Cameron, it's a pleasure to have you. I appreciate you joining today and giving us that take.
Thank you.